Boudreaux now. You're sitting there. It's Thanksgiving. You got a plate. It's starting to bend inward because you got so much food on it. And you start saying to yourself, when's Uncle Boudreaux going to bring up Lane Kiffin? And you look at Uncle Boudreaux at the corner of your eye, and he knows that you know that he knows that y'all locked eyes for 2 seconds, and he goes, "Hey, oh, couillon. Remember what I told you about Lane Kiffin?" And you're gonna say, "Uncle Boudreaux, what was that?" It's Ross Dellinger's reporting as of a couple of minutes ago, and I quote this. I kind of want to get this right. I don't want to read something wrong here, but he's going to say, "Did you see Ross Dellinger's report coming out today from Yahoo Sports when he says, while his decision, meaning Kiffin, has been made to involve all three places in Ole Miss, LSU, and Florida, signs continue to point towards one of those destinations. Florida officials now have started to pursue other candidates, and Ole Miss administrators have begun to reach out to potential replacement coaches. Two signals of Kiffin's possible intent to head to Baton Rouge." Nevertheless, we're live. Everybody do us a favor by hitting that like and share. Share to all of those groups if you're on Facebook and to all those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Every AYS Sports show is brought to you by our good friends over at FanDuel. Go over, download the FD Sportsbook app. Is Lane Kiffin coming to LSU? That's all I ask. Know one thing, though, because I don't know the answer to the other. You can download the FD Sportsbook app and go place a bet if you believe that he is going to be LSU's next head coach. We love to be powered. We love to be partnered with our good friends over at FanDuel. We love that you can just go over to FanDuel.com/RG and you can set your preferences. Don't want to go over $100 a month? FanDuel's got you covered. Let's go have fun with our partners over at FanDuel. Again, download the app today. We greatly appreciate it. Couple of ways you can get involved into the show. Send in super chats, become members of the YouTube channel. We did some content today. We put it out there. I highly suggest you just become a member on the YouTube channel. A lot of content that's coming out there. So I greatly appreciate all of those who have joined to become members. Let me get to this. By the way, Carter Bryant joins us at 7:35, but this is a pretty massive story that's coming out of Yahoo Sports. Ross Dellinger is one of the biggest reporters in all of college football. He is there getting breaking news from Greg Sankey, Tony Petitti. I mean, he pretty much right now has been one of, if not the biggest reporter when it comes to breaking news. I just read Ross's article to you just a minute ago. I'm not going to bore you yet again for the live, but just to reemphasize what Ross Dellinger stated here just moments ago, he says, while decisions by Kiffin were wanted to be had out of all three places, meaning Ole Miss, LSU, and Florida, Florida officials have now started to pursue other candidates, meaning other coaches, and Ole Miss has already started to prepare for potential replacements to replace Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. I don't know how more direct you can get there. Now, we have seen goofier stuff happen in the past. So you have the biggest reporter, or one of the biggest reporters in all of college football, basically telling you that all signs are pointing to LSU. Even so much so that Florida and Ole Miss are doing things behind the scenes because they do not believe that they are getting Lane Kiffin. It's like last night when I came out here and said, listen, Florida fans keep telling me I'm wrong. Sources. Florida is going out there and they're interviewing other head coaches, some coaches inside the state of Louisiana. And it's interesting. It is very interesting that yet again, for a third straight week, when we come out and say, hey, I'm hearing Florida and other teams are doing this, and it's affecting the Lane Kiffin stuff in benefit of LSU, then articles come out the next day. I think it's interesting. Well, it's not interesting when you know what you're talking about. Guys, they have been, as much as they've told me that they have not been, they have been interviewing replacements just in case. Probably smart by them. Now, LSU is staying idle. Guys, to be honest with you, I've been asked a lot about backup candidates. Guys, from a realistic sourcing kind of situation, I don't know. I think they have some names, but they're locked in on one dude right now, and they're just not going to take no for an answer. They might not get the dude. Like, they still might miss out on the prom queen. You might be sitting there at the end of The Bachelorette, and you're standing there hoping that you get the final rose, and yet she goes with Daniel from California who can surf. Or in this case, I guess maybe Daniel from Florida that can surf. You get what I'm saying? All right. So, with that part being said, it does seem like the confidence coming out of Baton Rouge is immense. I want to caution you on something. And I'm going to give you two names, Tom Herman and Lincoln Riley. Things are not done in coaching searches until they're done. The title of this show tonight, before Ross Dellinger's report came out, was, Can You Close? And the question would be, listen, all signs are pointing to you right now. If everything that is out there right now is true, if the things that I am hearing is true, if the things that national reporters is hearing is true, if what the general vibe about all of this from the LSU perspective is true, now you got to go close it. Now you got to go out there and end this thing. Now you got to go out there and say, listen, we've come this far from firing Brian Kelly to firing Scott Woodward to the governor and his statements to getting a new president to appointing the guy who not a lot of people thought was going to be the acting AD, but then was because we needed alignment. Wade Roos kind of now looks like a genius, especially if you land Lane Kiffin. Kind of looks like a genius. Like, hey, man, listen, Governor Landry, I've been a part of these. We need alignment. We're going to go in this thing. Now is the time to go and end it. As I said, Wednesday is going to start getting very interesting. Last night's show, I came out here and said, guys, I'm hearing that Wednesday is going to be very interesting here. News dump at the end of this. News dump late on a Tuesday night when the college football rankings are coming out. And here we stand. I've been thinking about all day what to say in reference to where you are at the current moment. The number one thing, you got to close. You got to end it. We have no idea what Florida is going to counter with. We have no idea what the intentions of Lane Kiffin will be at the end of this, when he's actually going to make a decision. Coming out of Ole Miss today was, in the beginning of the day, reported that a lot of influential people in coaching try to persuade Lane to stay at Ole Miss. I don't know if I fully believe that because I cannot get that verified. That was the rumor or sourced thing coming out of Ole Miss. Don't know if it looks like it is there at the current moment. So if you take a timeline from a week ago to today, when all of this is going on, Ole Miss people are saying, listen, we are close to the situation. The way that we feel about things is that this is coming down to an Ole Miss and LSU face-off. We think Florida is a distant third. That's what we think. And it would seem as if to me that Florida might be out of it essentially based off of what Ole Miss people were saying. And now Ross Dellinger is saying, well, I mean, Ole Miss is now starting to look for some candidates. They're looking for potential guys. Florida has started interviewing other coaches as well, and all signs are pointing towards Baton Rouge. All right, so maybe the Ole Miss people were true. Maybe they were right. But I sit in a place in time where I just say, listen, we've gone through this twice. Actually, 3 times, really. With Lincoln Riley, you've gone through with it, and Tom Herman. Anything can change in a blink of an eye. It does look like all signs are pointing towards you based off of everything that's coming out now. So, what I would say in this is, it does seem like you have a lead based off of the report from a guy who, guys, here's the truth. Ross Dellinger runs. He runs breaking news stories like this when it comes to college football. I don't think he puts his national credibility on the line if he's not confident about where things stand on a Tuesday night. You get to a place, you get to a time, now you got to go close. If they counter you, LSU, with anything, sounds good. Do you want it in ones, 5, 10s, 20s? Do you want that thing in 50s? Do you want that thing in hundreds? Because daddy gonna give it to you like I'm DMX. I mean, mega pause to you, Lane. Mega pause. But we also talked about something last night that Oklahoma State just pulled off. There's a chance that North Texas makes the playoff. Small chance, but a chance. Oklahoma State is letting Eric Morris, the North Texas head coach, finish the season with his team and then go be the head coach of Oklahoma State. Do we have a same scenario here? I do not know at this exact moment what Ole Miss is going to do. Again, the analogy that I gave last night, Lane Kiffin's balls are in Ole Miss's court. Pause. They can do whatever they want. But they can suspend him. They can move on from him. They can force him out the door. They can let him coach throughout the playoff. But this continues to point into a sign that, hey, man, this is probably going to get done pretty soon. You know, there's a lot of people that I've seen on social media, just social media people, don't have a following or probably any real sourcing. This thing is over. This thing is over. This thing is over. And you sit there when you look at it and you say, yeah, Uncle Boudreaux did say that the other day. But who is Uncle Boudreaux really talking to? All signs are pointing to you right now. That's where you sit. And you're not blinking. I'll continue to say this as I'm blue in the face. Even if you don't get him, I am proud of this institution. I think you've done a good job. You locked in on, if you get to a Monday press conference or Monday next week and it's Lane Kiffin, great. If it's not, oh well. For me, oh well. You tried, but during the entire process, you just haven't blinked. You haven't blinked. And I'm proud of that. Why are you interviewing other candidates? Why are you interviewing other coaches if you're Florida? Guys, I think when this is over and done with, one thing that if he does not go to Florida, the GM thing with Scott Strickland interviewing GMs when Lane wanted to bring his own guy is going to kill them. It's going to be one of the dumbest moves that has ever happened. But you start gaining confidence tonight. I can feel it. I can feel that you feel it. And as Phil Collins said, I can feel it in the air tonight. Let's see how this thing ends, man. You got to go close. I think LSU is going to do everything they can to do it. All right, let's get to some super chats before we move on. I got to get to a break. We'll do a quick Oklahoma deep dive, and then we'll get to Carter Bryant. But Fathead 5197 becomes a new member along with JHarp21, along with Foster on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Kyle and Darren also became members on the YouTube channel. Thank you. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. Content coming out. We might have to do it tomorrow. Might have to do some tomorrow as this thing starts heating up here. All right, let's move to this. Couple of them. Noah sends Noah didn't say anything. Oh, he just says Uncle Boudreaux called. Lane is a done deal. I have not heard it to be done. I have not heard it to be done. Him says Ross Dellinger's new article. Yes. We just talked about it. So you know exactly how I think. Thank you to all you, Kyle, Darren, Foster, J Hart, Fathead. Thank you all for becoming members on the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate it. We'll get something out there tomorrow, too. Frankie with a $5 super chat says, if we get Lane, we played at Ole Miss and at Tennessee next year, pure cinema. That's going to be insane. I wonder if I do wonder if they Tennessee kind of fans are over it, Bill. Maybe not. I mean, they threw mustard at him. Ole Miss fans are not. It is going to be toxic. The Magnolia Bowl is going to go off. It's going to go off. Corey with a $10 super chat says, Uncle Boutros said his contract included letting the band play neck, hashtag sources. Uncle Boudreaux needs a statue at LSU if that happens. Give Uncle Boudreaux a statue. Let the band play neck. Come to the boot. Hashtag come to the boot. Uncle Boudreaux making a big push here. Y'all shouldn't have doubted your Uncle Boudreaux. I shouldn't have either. Raging Cajun with a $5 super chat says, anyone got the odds on what color visor he's wearing during the press conference on Monday at LSU? Purple, gold, or white? You got to go with the traditional purple. You got to go with the traditional purple. Got to. Darren, now we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. Guys, this isn't done yet. Hold on. You're hearing that I'm saying this thing's done. No, it's not. Anything can happen. Again, I know how these things go. It is not done yet. Listen to me. Hey, listen to me. I'm not talking to you like I'm talking to my 6-year-old son. This thing ain't done yet. Got it? Got it. Don't mean it can't be done tomorrow, though. Darren sent a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Darren. Landon with a $50 super chat. Massive super chat. Thank you, Landon. Says, I won't lie, when I found this show a year ago or so, I wasn't a huge fan. Thank you. He says, Blake, you and the AYS family won me over when you directly answered my question on X. Sunday, I made sure to become your newest member as of today. Keep up the good work, brother. Well, how about that? I'll tell you, Landon, I appreciate it. I'm not for everybody, but thank you. Thank you. Hopefully I responded and said something nice. I did. Hopefully. But thank you, Landon. I hope you are welcome here, buddy. David says, Strickland, I'm not for everybody. I get it. Thank you for becoming. That's a massive milestone for me. David says, Strickland and Lane would clash. I just don't see Lane working for him. As I told you last night, the analogy I gave before we got to get to some things here. Talked to a coach in the SEC last night. He's worked at Florida and literally told me last night, like, hey, man, not going to work. Not going to work. We'll see. All right, let me get to a quick break. When we come back, little Oklahoma deep dive. Carter Bryant, we'll talk about this Lane Kiffin and Ross Dellinger story at depth. Stay with us.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Hey guys, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Red Stick Financial. They're your local residential mortgage broker located right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At Red Stick Financial, they find the bank that works for your particular set of needs to purchase the home of your dreams or refinance the current one. They truly are your partners in this process, and they pride themselves in helping individuals and families with one simple goal in mind, and that is to make home financing approachable, attainable, and stress-free. They are licensed in all Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So from Amarillo to Meridian and everything in between, they have you covered. Red Stick Financial brings you creative, customized solutions, and they don't believe in the one-size-fits-all when it comes to loans. They even have special options for mobile and manufactured homes located in a flood zone. and stated income financing for those of us who are self-employed borrowers. If you or someone you know is looking to buy a home, refinance an existing mortgage, or simply want to know what options are out there for your future, give Red Stick Financial a call today at 225-407-9250. That's 225-407-9250. Or check them out online at redstickfinancial.com. That's redstickfinancial.com. Before you purchase the home of your dreams or you go and do that refinance, you need to go local. Go Red Stick.
We're back.
Let's get to it here. So I tweeted this out a little bit earlier. The biggest thing that I've seen on social media that I just wanted to address was I've seen a lot of LSU fans and Florida fans going after it, getting after it, arguing with one another every single day about, no, we're the better school. No, you're the better school. No, I'm the better school. Gus, when people talk about like LSU versus Florida, what is the better job at the current moment, they look at things like, oh, well, LSU looks like it's a dumpster fire right now. LSU and the governor, they've done all of this, they've done all of that. But you know what they never want to talk about? They never want to talk about since the year 2010 that LSU is 12-4 against Florida. LSU has made 2 national title games, won one of them in that time span, while Florida hasn't even been to the playoff. You know, LSU has been to 3 SEC championship games since 2010. Florida hasn't won the SEC ever in that time span. You know, I look at Louisiana and I see LSU, well, you're the only P4 state in the entire state. Florida's got 4. They got Miami, they got Florida, they got UCF, and they got Florida. Louisiana's got LSU. And, you know, you talk about talent. Florida's a big state. They do have a lot of talent. You can't deny that. But 3 of the top 15 recruits in next year's recruiting class, they're from the state of Louisiana. The number 1 recruit in the country is from the state of Louisiana in 2026. Florida, in that top 15 in 2027, by the way, well, they have 1. You know who's been the better school? The one that's gone out there with 3 different head coaches and waxed your ass the same amount of time that you've had 3 different head coaches. You want to ask people why they believe LSU is better? Look at it. Look what constantly plays out on the field. Not trying to say that Florida's not a good job, because I know that they're a rival and we don't really like them, and it is what it is. But we're 12-4 against you, meaning you would have to win 8 straight games to get sub 500 since 2010, 15 years ago. 15 years of waxing that ass with Les Miles doing Colt David tricks. Well, it's not Colt David. Who was it? Domain. With Darius Geist going the wrong way. Oh, and then losing to Troy, and then the next week beating Florida. Keep getting asked, what's the better job? Guys, it is clear to me, as I wear an LSU shirt tonight on the show. It is clear to me. I don't think it's debatable. LSU showed that, well, they are giving a lot of money in NIL, and it's time to roll. So just wanted to throw that out there. Another thing here, I wanted to talk about this Oklahoma game very quickly. Carter Bryant joins us in a minute. We'll get to this Lane Kiffin story with Ross Dellinger. Listen, Oklahoma, we're going into Oklahoma this week, and I preview this game as one of these situations where everyone is looking at it for you to go in there and lose. Everyone's looking at you going into Norman. Your offense, it stinks. You can't run the ball. You have not looked great. You almost lost to Western Kentucky. And you look at Oklahoma last week, absolutely dominating a ranked opponent. And you say to yourself, damn, can we get past the 50-yard line, much less score? But the thing that Missouri, I don't feel like did was they did not stay with inside themselves. Now, you're very bad right now, and I get that. But you can make this one a really close game. Guys, offensively, outside of John Mateer and Isaiah Satania, they have not been great at all. And I think that your defense, I think that your team as just in general, you can slow them down if you're able to slow down John Mateer. If the same defense that's shown up the last 3 weeks shows up, they're going to give you a chance here. Now, defensively, guys, you're going against a behemoth. You can make the argument that Oklahoma has the best defense in the SEC this year. They're number one in the country in sacks. Now, 10 of those sacks came against Auburn, right? So, like, how much do you quantify that? I don't know. Like, 10 sacks in one game is ridiculous, but it still happened. But statistically speaking, they are number one in the country in sacks. They're top 3 in the country in run defense, while I look at you as an example, and you're in the 120s in rushing. This could be a bloodbath. Or you could go out there and try to do the unthinkable. If you can't get in, if we can't get into the playoff, neither can you. And that's the mentality that I have. I just don't know, or can I see that you can score enough here? You have been very mismanaged even now. I do think that play calling from an overall scheme standpoint has gotten better. I think Alec Atkins is better than Joe Sloan for what it's worth. But I just don't think that you're going to be able to overcome all of this. I think you could keep it close because you're talking about a defense that's top 11 in the country. They're 11th in total defense. They're 3rd in rushing defense. They're 40th in passing defense, which I don't think you can throw the ball, or Barry Brown's just going to drop it, or you're just going to get absolutely abused in your offensive line. They're 9th on third down. They're 6th in the country in scoring defense. And red zone, they've given up some points, but they've been giving up a lot of those points with field goals. And I look at your beat-up offensive line this week that is really, really banged up against the team in the nation's leader in sacks in Oklahoma. On paper, this looks like that you're going to get abused. Guys, I got to be blunt with you. Kind of like how we called during the keys to victory and the go in to the Alabama game. I look at this situation and say, I like this matchup. Now, the one thing I say I like the matchup, I think that you can keep this game close. I do. As ironic as that sounds, I think this is going to be a close game. Now, the bottom line fact remains here. I look at LSU and say, I just don't think you can score enough. I don't know where the points are coming from. Oklahoma's going to have to shoot themselves in the foot multiple times for that to happen, which they've been doing. Offensively, guys, Oklahoma's just been really bad. And I think your defense is good enough to give you a chance. I do. I just don't know how you score because you're horrible in the red zone. You've been horrible in a lot of different situations and areas. Your offensive line's beat up. This defensive line, if R. Mason Thomas goes, is going to get abused. I just don't know. I don't know. We'll see, though. It'll be very interesting. All right, let me get to a quick break. When we'll have Carter Bryant join us next. We'll talk about this Ross Dellinger story, and we'll talk about Lane Kiffin and LSU and where that goes. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you. Guys, let me tell you about our good friends over at Grand Slam Heating and Air, where your comfort is their top priority. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they promise to provide customers with high-quality HVAC service at an affordable price while ensuring the homeowner peace of mind. From their office to your home, they guarantee the best hassle-free experience around. Efficiency and comfort is their game. Let them make your home Grand Slam today. At Grand Slam Heating and Air, they're offering their annual maintenance plan starting off at $18.75 a month and also doing those $99 tune-up promotion. They provide free estimates for system and ductwork replacement, as well as offering financing to get the job done with no money up front. From Baton Rouge to Hammond to Covington, they're all around. So what you need to do today, give them a call at 225-380-9065. That's 225-380-9065. Or go over to their website, getgrandslamair.com. That's getgrandslamair.com, where your comfort is their top priority.
We're back.
Carter the Bean Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
On the bean now. The bean. I'll take it, man. I'm feeling great. Oklahoma fans called me a Kune a little bit earlier.
Are you not?
Wait, what? Yeah, I was proud of it. I was like, I don't take that as an insult.
I mean, a lot of people, like I say, couillon, like that's a very derogatory Bayou term, but I mean,
they are so confident. They are so confident that they are going to win this game. I was listening to you before hopping on here, and as you know, I do an Oklahoma film study every week on the SEC channel, and their offense is not good now
at all.
Are they as bad as your offense? No, but basically, Blake, their offense is John Mateer, run for first down on 3rd and long.
John Mateer again.
Yeah. And then
they throw the ball to Isaiah Satania.
And that's it. They have their running back room has been a disaster. The Jay Knott transfer has not worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Robinson's a really good player, but not a great player. And yeah, this LSU defense can make this interesting. That this is not an overly explosive Oklahoma offense outside of Satania. Now, Nine's a good player, the transfer, Keontez Lewis. Deion Burks has mostly been a non-factor, the transfer fifth-year player out of Purdue. I do not think LSU wins this game, though, because R. Mason Thomas might be back. And Will Campbell struggled versus R. Mason Thomas. I don't want to know what
everybody in human existence has had struggles versus R. Mason Thomas.
So if you are the LSU offense, you've got to do what Ludacris did in the early 2000s, baby.
Move that bitch.
But yeah, you got to
way.
Yes, and
if she's the F in my way, get the out of my way.
Yes, and
or we're coming for that number 1 spot.
Or
I don't know another Ludacris song.
Okay, roll out. You got to roll out the pocket.
Cash money. Oh, see. When I hear roll out, I think cash money.
Yeah, okay, so
back, roll out.
That's it. That's it.
Roll out.
So if you
I got some soul, Carter.
Yeah, I know.
Soul power, baby.
You got to roll this pocket out. Do not let this LSU offensive tackle group get into true pass sets. And honestly, Michael Van Buren, if there's one thing he's been good at, Blake, it's him rolling out. So I do think LSU could do something with that. So I hope the game is
going to get obliterated along their offensive line, especially in the interior.
So you got to do whatever you can to help him, and rolling out would help with that in a major way.
How about we don't roll him left this time? How about we don't call 20 straight passing plays this time? How about we actually throw the ball to the back out of the backfield And stop trying to give the ball to a guy like Bryant Brown, who's third in the SEC in drops. You know, I keep hearing, oh, well, Chris Hilton had a big drop. Bryant Brown has 12.
And you got to think, Blake, his catch percentage is a little bit higher than what you would think because he's had a lot of those pop passes.
Yeah, a lot of screens.
So the drops have been atrocious.
He shot 3 screens.
Yeah, no, it's atrocious. And I think as far as defending MVB, he threw the ball 42 times versus Western Kentucky.
Wasn't it 47?
What?
47, right?
No, I think it was 42. It might have. Okay. But even if it is 47, that even further proves his point. One thing, and I think most people want to talk about.
You're right. Brandon just told me you're 42 times.
Okay, so everyone wants to talk about Lane Kiffin.
Why, Brandon? Hold on. 47 dropbacks.
Oh, hey, what's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, what's up, Brandon? Let's go. Huh? Here's the thing that Lane Kiffin fixes. All right, this is probably the question that everybody wants to know. What I would tell you as someone who watches Lane's offense, and I have been watching it very closely since 2000, is if you look, Blake, at the raw passing attempts in the SEC, LSU actually leads the SEC in just the amount of passing attempts at 391. All right, so that is a lot. That is a metric F ton, which tells you 2 different things. Number one, you can't run the football consistently. And then number 2, you're not hitting explosive passes, right? You're having to matriculate the football slowly down the field. So this is where it gets interesting. You look at Ole Miss, they're at 370 pass attempts on the season, all right? That is only 21 fewer than LSU. But where it gets really interesting is LSU is amongst college football leaders in actual pass rate at 55%. Ole Miss is actually in the bottom 20 or 30 in college football in pass rate. So they do throw the football a lot. It's just they run the football more than they actually throw it. And that's why Lane Kiffin.
It's what I told everybody last night. I was like, the biggest lie about every Lane Kiffin offense is they're not a pass-first offense.
Yes, they are a run.
Never been. And that's why they ultimately couldn't get to the playoff last year. The lack of running game last year kept them out of the playoff. Because when you can't line up and run it against Kentucky to get to 10-2, well, you can't line up and run the ball against LSU last year. Like Braden Swenson's play plays in my mind often.
Which one?
The one on 4th down where he stops, was it Ulysses Bentley in the backfield on a turnover on down? It was the one after Garrett rolled left and hit Will Campbell in the helmet and got picked. Then you get
the big 4th down stop. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the big difference is that you can throw the football a lot of attempts. You just got to be efficient with it. Mm-hmm. And the way that works is with your run game, right? You don't want really any college quarterback, not number 9 for LSU, to be throwing the football that much. And even then you don't want him throwing the football that much. So Lane fixes the 2 big things, the 2 things he specializes in, which is running the football efficiently and also hitting deeper passes. And where is LSU's 2 biggest weakness? It's obviously those 2 things. So really, when you look even deeper at the raw numbers, you're like, man, that's the reason why Lane should be the number 1 guy. And that's the reason why LSU is after him so hard. Now we get to where are we in all of this now, Blake? And Chris Gordy, who we all know, he's been on your show, brought up an interesting thing. He was on my show a little bit earlier tonight. Maybe Lane has told all 3 of the fan bases, if you are, the 3 teams that I'm doing all of it. I'm coming back to Ole Miss. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to LSU.
Well, let me counteract that. Did you see Ross Dellinger's report?
All right. What did it say?
Ross Dellinger is reporting here. So when we get into
the one from an hour ago or the one from this weekend?
The one from an hour ago.
Okay. All right. I was live when it dropped, but go ahead.
He says while his decision has been to involve all 3 places, Ole Miss, LSU, and Florida, signs continue to point toward one of those destinations. Florida officials have started to pursue other candidates, and Ole Miss administrators now have begun to reach out to potential replacement coaches. 2 signals that Kiffin's possible intent is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Things are mostly quiet at LSU right now as the program readies itself for a multi-million-dollar offer for a coach. If and or when Lane Kiffin leaves, the dominoes really begin to tumble. So he might have. But if he told Florida and he told Ole Miss that he's leaving, my question is now, who Ross doesn't publish bullshit.
No, he's pretty accurate.
He's very accurate in all the things that he does. My question, Carter Bryant, to you is, does LSU lead now for Lane Kiffin? Because, I mean, you got a national reporter reporting this, and I reached out to some Florida sources. They're like, no, we hadn't heard that. That's not true. Yeah, I mean, I've heard the same as Ross.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Blake, me too. And I still won't believe it until it's actually pen to paper. You and I privately shared a situation at Ole Miss regarding how the players have reacted to this. I was shocked, honestly, because I thought the players would be a little bit more pro Lane in this whole ordeal. The more I've dug into it, and you saw the text I shared with you a little bit earlier, that's not what's happened. And because of that, it's made me even more so point in the direction that Lane is going to be the next LSU head coach. But I mean, I just can't.
You know how these things go. Like,
yes, I just can't get there until I actually see him at the LSU press conference. And unless he pulls a Dana Altman, he's going to be the next guy.
I don't like to paraphrase it like this, but LSU fans have PTSD because this happened with Tom Herman.
Yeah.
Look, the truth of the matter is LSU administrators during the Lincoln Riley thing were in the suite telling people that Lincoln Riley had accepted to become LSU's next head coach. And so, you know, look, Scott Woodward can say whatever he wants, but he actively, like, I got sourced that he's actively telling people up in the suite that it's Lincoln Riley. So you got 2 situations where the last 2 times you've done this, the number one name that keeps going, everybody's looking at you, and then it winds up you miss out on Tom Herman, which worked out for you, but you ultimately fired Ed. You don't get Lincoln Riley, and Brian Kelly gets fired. So I think LSU fans are like, yeah, okay, hold on. I've been in this exact situation before. They're like you. I got to see this thing, and I fully understand that.
Your number 2 guy,
Kenny Dillingham.
Okay, it's Kenny, and you've been pretty firm on that.
Yeah, since the very beginning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you echo what? And this is, you know, sped up here with Drinkowitz and this potential Missouri extension.
Looks like he's staying.
Okay, let's just say Drink says I want to go to LSU, and LSU goes and gets him. You wouldn't like it?
No.
Okay.
I would not. You could win me over.
As in me?
Yeah, anybody win me over.
No. Well,
I don't think that. I don't think. See, here's what happens. I think people talk about college football in a prism. I do it every day, every day. Have you ever listened to multiple Eli Drinkowitz press conferences?
Oh, he's crazy.
I mean,
he tries to say something from the 36-team playoff to everything.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about when he's talking about his team, when he loses, when he wins. You know, like, I get he's at Missouri. I get that. You haven't beaten a top 25 opponent in the SEC. So,
yeah, but at least he's been in. Look,
Carter.
I'm with you. I would personally prefer Dillingham over Drinkowitz, and that was my prediction a month and a half ago, that the next LSU head coach, and it was just a wild prediction. Okay, but I just don't understand why so many LSU fans, and now you just are so skeptical of Eli Drinkowitz coming here and winning.
Yeah,
big.
Name that quarterback that's done worth a damn in the SEC. Why did he have to get play calling stripped? He's coordinator dependent.
Most coaches are, Blake.
You don't want one. You came out here and said you didn't want one. So you're going to stand on your laurels now? Because if you're going to stand on your laurels now, then you got to stand on them now. And to be honest with you, neither is Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin does not call plays at Ole Miss. Does he give a lot of insight? Well, the reason his coordinator and Charlie Weiss Jr. is probably going to be very close to winning the Broyles Award is because Lane gives suggestions and he reads off of it. That doesn't mean Lane can't call plays. But I look at Eli, I listen to his press conferences, and I know this place. Carter, when you do 1,294 episodes and people are telling you that you're great, that you suck, they love you, they hate you, you understand the fan base. I don't see the fit here. Now, I thought I was getting purple.
But aren't you the one that always says that fit is over, like the word fit?
Yeah. Okay. Want him out there after what you just did with Lane Kiffin and watch the guys that left Brian Kelly 3 years ago from the booster base not come back.
Yeah, that's my point. Is I'm trying to figure out why he's so unpopular, especially with you. When all Drakewitz has done is run the football at a high level with
against whomst?
Against the SEC with
name a ranked win.
Blake, if you're talking about ranked wins, then guess what? Kenny Dillingham doesn't have a ranked win over an SEC team.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. As a coordinator, he also got to the playoff from a team that was 1-11. He took a 1-11 team and got them to win a championship and into the playoff.
And Eli Drakewitz took Missouri to 11-2 with the win over Ohio State.
They were on their third string walk-on quarterback.
It's still a great victory. And on top of that,
roll out your third string walk-on quarterback and see how that game's going to go.
Well, Blake, the truth is this guy has run the football with so many different running backs, so many different groups of offensive linemen, with Cody Schrader, Larry Roundtree, just anyone you give him, he's going to find a way to run the rock. Wouldn't you be in favor of that?
I love a team that runs the football. But you know what Dillingham and Lane Kiffin do more than him, and either like a Josh Heupel?
They run the ball. I'm just saying I don't think it would be a disaster. I think it would do fine.
It would be a disaster. You asked me
I think it would do fine. I just don't understand why. I just don't understand why anyone's not going to give him a chance.
Carter, you said that I said it was a disaster. Can you point to when I said it would be that?
No, I didn't say you. It's just that every time I bring.
Do you understand this place? That's number one. Number two. Okay.
Win and people will love you.
Okay. But there's a thing with fit in reference to, like, hey, Brian Kelly. Everybody said Brian Kelly wasn't a fit. He ultimately wasn't.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Well, Ed and Les actually, here's the biggest lie. Ed and Les actually did fit in. They did. When you have the governor of the state and people pushing for you from a booster base for you not to get fired, and your biggest failure, you have people. That's why Ed kind of got that extra year, because people were in his corner. They understood it.
All right. So let me ask you this. Now, let's just say Drink is just completely out of the picture. And let's just say Dillingham is not interested in LSU. Who is Blake Ruffino's deep cut guy?
We just got hired to Oklahoma State.
All right. So that's right. You're a Morris guy.
Mm-hmm. Just got. I want an offensive play caller. When Eli got into the SEC, he got ran through like shit through a tin horn.
So after. So Eric Morris would be after Dillingham for you?
I have Drakewitz way down there. Like I go for Golish, Heupel, all of these different guys before I personally would go for Drink. Yes.
Oh, okay. So and we had our Heupel debate last week.
Yep.
I'm a little shocked that Arkansas's not hired or really tried to get Alex Golsh. He's moved into my favorite group of five guy. And
We'll see what Arkansas does. They did some shitty stuff. I mean, I was told by a staffer in the SEC, not at Arkansas, but he's on the East Coast of the SEC, and he goes, bro, I heard Franklin try to take the job and ask for more money for coaching staff, and he asked for more money in NIL, and Arkansas said, we're broke.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah.
Not. I don't know if you saw those Mark May clips from earlier today.
We kind of went all over the place. I wanted to get back to the Dellinger.
Okay, go back to that. Go ahead.
The Dellinger thing. You talked about it like you needed to be locked in on it, and you turn to your second guy. I just got to get to a place where I just ask you the question: what would he do here?
As in Lane?
Yeah, what would Lane do here? Because unless
he would be beyond special. I
agree.
I truly do believe it. Now, the thing is, obviously, as you know, who's the DC going to be, which is big, right? And that's, to me, the gazillion-dollar question. I know you and Coach Golding have shared experiences, if you will. Would you stay with Blake Baker? What would Lane do for his defensive staff would be the big question. I like LSU's current defensive staff. I've said what I've said this year about Blake this year. But you tweeted out all of Blake Baker's stats. I think the red zone stat you shared was a little misleading, but all the other stuff was correct.
It's not misleading.
Yeah, it is just a little bit.
How is it misleading? Here we go.
No, because it's not important in the major thing because I'm pro Blake Baker. But outside of that, I do think they should keep Blake Baker as a defensive coordinator. I do.
I'm not telling a coach what they should or shouldn't do.
But and that's the other thing. You've already committed so much to Lane Kiffin, and you've got to let him do.
Here's the truth, though. Newsflash, Peter Pan. Pete Golding, if it is him, like if he goes with him, like if that would be the ultimate decision. Carter, all right, look. Ole Miss is 30th, Ole Miss is 30th in the country in total defense with Sage Ryan. Did you hear what I just said?
I'm with you. Yeah, I thought you were going to continue. No, I think.
Well, I'm glad you asked. They're 22nd in the country in pass defense with Sage Ryan. Do you see what? If he wants Golding, I'm not going to be the one to tell him no. I love Blake Baker. To be honest with you, that was my selling point to be like, hey, man, you probably should keep him. I'm going to be honest with you. Behind closed doors, for me, I'm pushing for him to stay. I don't care about the staff. The staff is the staff. Position coaches are the position coaches for me. Brother, they're top 23, top 25 in the country in total defense with a stupid-ass offense. I will always regret not knowing what this defense could have been with a better offense. So I would not tell Lane what he should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. But
by the way, they've made 9 red zone stops. Has LSU.
Yeah, it just comes down to your definition of a stop, though.
Ohio State is number 1. They've given up 12 scores.
Right.
Okay. But misses that they have, if you go last week in the red zone, all of those misses are missed field goals.
Okay.
So, percentages matter regardless of how they happen.
No, but that's where I push back just a little bit is, all right, do you know how much the red zone
scoring the football is the number 1 name of the game? And when you're damn near top 15 in the country in scoring defense and top 5 in the country in red zone defense, Carter, I'm sorry. It's not when you've gone through 11 games, deep dive analytical data, you would have to go through all top 25 teams. And how did they get stops?
Okay. So red zone percentage is not a good stat. Touchdown percentage is a better stat. So if you go by LSU's red zone defensive percentage,
they're top 15 in the country in scoring defense. They're top 4 in the so they're not giving up a lot of points. You're not making the argument great about touchdown percentage. Sure,
they go from fourth.
They have more stops in the red zone. They have more stops in the red zone, and a team that's number 1 in the country, and their offense is actually good. So my point is, again, if I hate this analytical, that's not a good stat. You know what the biggest stat of all is? Not scoring in the red zone and being top 15 in scoring defense.
Yes. So in the games that they lost, how would you assess their red zone defense?
Not great. But you know what else I'd say? There's other teams in there that are really good. What about A&M's? What about Bama's? What about
I'm just saying.
Hold on.
Touchdown percentage.
Okay. Georgia.
Okay.
You want to go to touchdown percentage? Theirs is worse.
Okay. So
you want to go to Oklahoma's? Theirs is worse.
Yes. All right. So
you're talking about last week you said Oklahoma's the best defense in the country. Okay. Well, they're not giving up more percentages. I mean, what are we talking about?
I think if you were to say LSU's defense has been an elite red zone defense this year, that's just not true. It's just not true. They were terrible in the red zone versus Vanderbilt. They were terrible in the red zone versus Ole Miss.
Have you watched these other teams?
Yeah, I'll watch.
Okay, then you're comparing them to other teams, right? You're not comparing them.
Okay, so for your argument, Western Kentucky dropping a point-blank touchdown last week, that counts as a red zone stop.
Penn State accidentally falling on the football in the red zone versus Ohio State. What's the same difference?
It's that
they threw the ball out of bounds, and one guy.
I shouldn't even have brought it up. Because we're on the same side of the Blake Baker thing. It's that I don't think the red zone defense for LSU has been as good as the 4th national ranking that they have, because you're going by total percentage, right? When touchdown percentage is a more accurate representation of how good your red zone defense is. Okay, so I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up here while we are live on AYS. Okay, so let's go to red zone defense, opponent red zone conversions. Okay, LSU is 4th. You adjust it to touchdown percentage, and LSU is 56th now. It's touchdown percentage,
the
not
only
a more
thing that matters is that okay. Then go to stop rate. How many times are they stopping teams?
No, they're still a very good defense.
Okay. You talk about touchdown rate. Let's go to stop rate.
I was just one small disagreement, but you gotta have it. You gotta have
it. What's their stop rate in the red zone?
What's LSU's overall stop rate in the red zone? They're 4th.
Yes.
Okay, they're 4th overall in.
Okay.
But that's okay.
So keep Blake Baker. Dude, what about Corey Raymond and all the others?
Yeah. I want the entire LSU defensive staff back. I do. I think they've done a great job, including Blake Baker. I think he's done a great job. But here's the thing. But overall, we're in agreement. That's what I was saying. It was just a small little disagreement about the red zone percentage. What I would say, though, is we are in agreement as well that you have to let Lane Kiffin do what he wants to do.
If it is him.
If it is him. And that's a big leap of faith, right? Because you got to remember, when Pete Golding left Alabama to go to Ole Miss, what was the reaction at the time, Mr. Blake Ruffino?
When who left?
When Pete Golding came to Ole Miss from Alabama, what was the reaction?
A massive one.
It was, what the heck is he doing?
Well, and it was surrounded by a lot of off the field issues.
Yeah, and I think everyone knows what one of those were. But I mean, I think I'm with you on Golding. I'm the only time I was like, "What the heck are you doing?" was that final drive versus Nuss, where I don't know exactly what Golding was thinking on that final drive, but other than that, he's a really good DC. And yes, he had the most talent, I feel, in the SEC last year defensively, maybe outside of Georgia. But that was a defense, Blake, that was good enough to win the college football playoff. And the one thing Lane Kiffin's really good at last year was the one year where it was really bad. That's what he publicly admitted on the McAfee interview. You know, so many people focused on what he was going to say to Pat McAfee as far as the LSU Florida job openings. But to me, the biggest thing was Lane admitting, hey, last year was the only year we couldn't run the ball. I'm telling you right now, if Ole Miss could have ran the football last year, I think that team would have won the Natty.
They were really freaking good.
And I still think they should have made the playoff last year. I do. Even with 3 losses, I thought they should have got, if we were to really put the 12, if you really want to get into, if you're going to put the 12 best teams into the field, yard per play differential, Ole Miss was 3rd in all of college football. Ole Miss last year won every game by double digits, lost every one possession game that they had. They're an extremely unlucky team, but they choked. They choked versus Kentucky, thanks to Barry on Brown.
Choke versus us. They should have beaten us.
Yes. Post-game win expectancy for Ole Miss in that game was 74%.
You can't, look, here's the point, though. You can't be bad in running the football and stopping the run. You can't be bad in either one of those categories and win. What people don't understand is like why Alabama's having success. People don't understand why they are doing what they're doing. It's because they're freaking really well coached.
All right, let's get weird before I skedaddle here.
Okay.
Because you're the one guy that pushes me harder than anyone. Pause. When it comes to college football.
Okay.
Conversation.
Okay.
Alabama loses to Auburn this weekend. If that happens, do you start hearing conversations about DeBoer?
DeBoer.
Jordan here.
To where?
Yeah, I mean, do you think? Let's just say Alabama loses this game this weekend.
You think they'll fire him?
I don't think they'll fire him, but I think he'll quickly become the most unpopular coach in the SEC. I mean, I think he's 99% back at Alabama.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
I don't think so either. But you know, there will not be another coach under more heat and under more pressure.
And it's so spoiled.
Yeah, Alabama fans, like, if you want to quote that up.
Nick didn't win his first one at LSU or Bama until year 3.
But you know which fan base is the most irrational.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought you were going to ask about Penn State. I think they're hiring you a boy from James Madison, and they really want to hire their interim. I don't know where they go there. You know, there's a thing with Chesney. Yeah. They you know, the Missouri board has called a meeting to extend Eli Drinkwitz tomorrow. Does that mean that Ole Miss is going after John Summerall, Auburn going after John Summerall? Does that mean that Florida's had to switch? We were talking about with Ross Dellinger story earlier. Does that mean LSU landed Lane Kiffin? If Drinkwitz stays, LSU stop pursuing.
Yeah. I'm interested what happens with Florida as well. I mean, if Florida doesn't get Lane, what do you think they do next?
If Florida doesn't get Lane, I think they pivot to John Summerall or Brent Key or Lincoln Riley.
And you truly do believe, because I know you had Pate on here not too long ago,
you
really do think Lincoln is
on the table? You're damn right I do.
Okay. You want to get really weird?
Okay. Let me tell you something about Josh Pate. I don't think from a national perspective, from a coaching perspective, talking to coaches, there's somebody more connected in the country. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
let me just say this. Like, point blank, a coach will put you in a group text with him and like be like, how do y'all know one another? And I'm like, damn.
it's crazy. I don't know Pate like you do. I've never spoken to him, but I do.
Great person.
Yeah, I do know someone that's in national media that does talk to him often. And
I talk to him often.
Oh, you do? Okay. So
Yeah.
So
Like
it is amazing how many coaches he talks to. I mean, I know he goes and interviews him, but still like talks to him.
No, talk like long extended conversations.
So let's just get so weird. Let's just get totally weird here on AYS.
Okay. Get weird.
All right. You see Texas Tech lose one of these final 2 games. And they have Joey Maguire. And well, what if Texas Tech says, look, Joe, you blew it. You should have not blown it this year with this roster. Because it's true, if Texas Tech loses one of these final few games, let's say they lose to BYU in the rematch.
I think you would go to Texas Tech over one of those games and they go after Lincoln Riley. Yes. I think it's an easier place to win and he'd be a constant playoff contender.
And what do we know about Lincoln Riley? Well, he idolizes Texas Tech for obvious reasons, okay? And what else do we know about Lincoln Riley? He's a little bit of a BBB, all right? And he doesn't want the competition, right? So you go to Texas Tech where you played, and I mean, does Texas Tech say, look, we built a superstar defense. We just need the offense to get us over the hump. Why don't we bring back our wayward son to Lubbock? So
I could see that, but I don't think Joey's going to lose. I think they're going to win.
I don't either. But it's one of those things where it's like, it's out there that Lincoln is like looking at side chicks, you know, and would that shock you, Lincoln Riley coaching Texas Tech next year?
No.
No. Okay.
It wouldn't. To be blunt with you, the thing that would surprise me most at the exact moment is that he's coaching at USC.
Yeah. No, I don't. I do. Lincoln, it is hard to find people that are fans of his.
They love him in Lincoln.
Yeah. Well, they would. You mean Norman or?
No, they love him in. I mean, they love him in Lincoln.
Lubbock.
They love him in Lubbock.
Yeah, because it's one of their own. That's their blood.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just don't think you can let go of Joey Maguire after he led you to a Big 12 title and a playoff, though.
Yes, I'm just saying if he loses,
right?
If he loses
a couple in a row,
and they don't make the playoff with this team,
yeah, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. Big 12 is kind of awful.
How good do you think? How good do you think Texas Tech is?
I don't think any of us know.
All right.
I think the Big 12 and ACC are that bad.
And then of course we get into our normal group of 5 debate. One slot, Blake. That's all they're getting. It's less than 10% of the field. It's less than.
Here's the problem.
One slot, Blake.
Okay, here's the problem. Okay, here's the problem. When you have Vanderbilt sitting on the outside and teams in the Big Ten and the SEC sitting on the outside, and then Ole Miss obliterates Tulane and Tulane might get into the playoff, I'm sorry, Carter. I'm sorry. Ole Miss obliterated them. They have not beaten anybody in the SEC as bad as they beat Tulane.
Yeah, and it's one slot.
Beat their ass. Stop.
It's one slot, Blake. It's less than 10%.
Carter, this isn't an equality playoff. This isn't because you're a part of all this. It's like the one friend that you get to tag along and everybody gets aggravated by everything that he does. The other 2 friends, by the way, that go golfing with you, the Big 10, the Big 12 and the ACC, they fucking suck. They are not good. Newsflash, Peter Pan. Newsflash. They're not good.
Guess what, Blake? It's one slot.
It's not though. Those other conferences aren't one slot. That's what you don't get. And they want to.
It's one slot for each conference. And guess what? That's still only 25% of the field.
And you just came in here and said Ole Miss could have won a national title, but because teams like Tulane get in it, that same Ole Miss team from last year, you want out because of that one slot.
And guess what? I do. I'm fine. And guess what? It's fine. Those games during the season that you play in the Southeastern Conference, they should matter. Okay, I'm not going to have.
And they don't.
They do matter. If you win, your games, the only thing, if you're in the Southeastern Conference, if you play in
the playoff,
the only thing you have to worry about is not losing 2 games.
Who did Notre Dame play? Who did Notre Dame play in week 1?
They played Miami.
Did they win?
They did not win.
Do they have the same record as Miami?
They do.
Okay. Who's ranked ahead of whomst?
Well, Miami should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame.
No. The games on the field got to matter or stop playing them.
Yes. And you're making my argument for me.
No, okay? I'm not. You know why? Because your playoff contender in the G5 went to Ole Miss and got their ass waxed. LSU went to Ole Miss, and it was a 1-score game. You see my point?
No, and guess what? But one game does not define a season.
Okay. What about 11? How about this? What about 8 in the SEC? And what about Ole Miss not being able to wax anybody's ass like they waxed Tulane's?
All right.
Okay, because there's not an answer to that.
All of that's fine and dandy, Blake. But the thing that's great about the SEC is that this is the best conference in America, right? We want these games to count. We want these regular season games to count. We've seen Vanderbilt play Alabama already. Have we not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They've already lost.
Yeah,
if they would have won that game, they wouldn't be.
Records don't matter to me as much as they matter to people. They don't, because a team can be 9-3 and a team can be 10-2, and I'm like, well, they beat each other on the field.
Yes. So you're of the belief that a team's record should not matter as much as it does now.
Not as much as it does right now. No.
Right. So what would obviously you were live when the playoff, or were you live when they released the latest ranking?
No, I was live. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen.
Yeah. So Miami's in the field, but they're not going to be with the way the ACC championship is set up. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. I just hope this stays at 12. If this expands out to 16, it's going to ruin it.
It's going to ruin it. Glad we agree on something. All right. I got to get you out of here. You got to go eat dinner with your wife.
Yeah, we're doing a Detroit-style pizza.
Damn, son.
Have you ever had Detroit-style? Right
before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, dude, it's just a little frozen. I'm not going to give him a free plug. It's like a little $7 Detroit-style pizza.
Damn, son. I mean, 2 days from now, your plate's going to be bent in.
Well, I called you last week, and you said you're able to work out. I was like, I'm going to do a Blake Ruffino. I got to go work out, because during coaching search, you don't have time. You're always like, I can cut
I always wake your ass up at 5 o'clock.
That's what time you get up?
Brother, I pull a Jaden Daniels every morning.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Going By the way, your boy hit 150 officially.
What do you mean 150?
A loss of 150.
Oh, okay. I thought at first it was like you benched 150. I was like, I hope not.
No, I actually will post it. Well, I'm gonna leave that alone. All right. Got to get you to your Detroit style pizza. Love you. Happy Thanksgiving, buddy.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
See you. It's Carter the Power Bryant. Let's get to a couple of these super chats before we get out of here. I don't know where we left off. David sends a $5 super chat, says Strickland and Lane. Oh, okay, we got to that one. Mark Allen says, if Lane signs, I will have to erase all my shitty tweets to Governor Landry. Yeah, you would. You 1,000% would. You would. Trip Block, what's up, buddy? With a $2 super chat says, Blake, you're awesome. Love you this podcast. I love you too, Trip. Hope you're doing good, man. I really do. Kyle with a $5 super chat. Kyle became a member on the YouTube channel tonight. He says, Blake, I know Lane will turn offense around. Does he make changes at strength and conditioning? You know, Kyle, I think that's a really good question. I think he's got to. Kyle, if you ask me personally, the second biggest hire in all of this is who's going to be over strength and conditioning. That is by far, because you got to be tough and physical. If you're Lane, do you say, hey, man, listen, you call up Ed and like, hey, how was Tommy Moffitt? Do you go get the prodigal son and let him return? That's the real question. He would be my number one call. You know, I'm normally not prone to, if you're asking me my call, I'm calling Tommy Moffitt and telling him to come back. You know, I think that Tommy had just had some grandbabies. Do you want to see your grandbabies? Because his family still lives here. So come home and be with your grandbabies. Dale and Ricky both became members on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, along with Charlist on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Roxanne, how many times have you gotten that in your life? How many times have you gotten that in your life? You know what I mean? Love the song, but I love you even more for sending in a $10 super chat. She says, I'm married to a Boudreaux, number 31 with White Shadow Tommy Boudreaux, who played for LSU through 79 through 82. We love your show, and we support Uncle Boudreaux. There you go. Roxanne, who we all love now, send in a $10 super chat. It's got an Uncle Boudreaux. Married into the Boudreaux family. White Shadow Tommy Boudreaux from 79 to 82 played on the team. See, Roxanne, you're just a part of the family now. You don't have a choice. So is Tommy. Carter became a member of the YouTube channel. I greatly appreciate our former guest here. Thank you so much. And Russ as well became a member on the YouTube channel. Thank you, guys. And I should have thanked Carter if I would have seen it. Get Good sends a $5 super chat. Says, hopefully these Tigers rally around whoever it is, especially with signing day in the transfer portal coming up. I agree. You got a lot of work to do. I agree. You got to. And I do think like a Lane Kiffin hire, as an example, would really rally your recruiting class. It might get some kids to flip, to be blunt with you. Who knows? But you do got to keep this recruiting class together. And listen, you're going to have to go in the portal again. You're just going to have to go in the portal again. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says, I don't like the fact LSU is going Kiffin or bust. Multiple coaches can win here. I agree with that. I think they need to make sure that they got a backup plan. Find a good 2 or third option. Drink shouldn't be in the convo at all. I agree with all of that. I do worry about LSU if this thing goes sideways, to be blunt with you. Forever LSU with 2 super chats, a $2 and a $5, says the Zen Bayou and Bean show, 2 of the best in the business. I have not. You're going to have to send me a link. I have not seen their show. I have not seen it. Send me a link. Stephen Young with a $5 super chat says, drink better not be the hire. We will make Tennessee, Shiano, and A&M Stoops look like child's play. I know you talked about that last night. I don't disagree. I think the fan base is there. And it looks like Eli Drinkwitz is about to sign an extension at Missouri. Adam, our good buddy Adam. Adam's got a baby on the way, y'all. Him and his lovely wife have another baby. Baby number 2 is on the way. So, yes. Congrats to Adam. All right. Adam says here, hiring Drink would be like hiring BK all over again. BK 2.0. I think Drink would actually work his ass off. That's the difference. You know what I mean, Adam? Like, BK just didn't work, man. I think Drink actually would get to work, but I don't like the fit, personally. Legendary CEO with a $50 super chat says, for Carter. All right, well, I'll send Carter $50. I'll Venmo him. But thank you for sending that in. Mr. EAJ with a $2 super chat says, what does Kiffin do with strength and conditioning staff hires? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Guys, I'm not going to even talk about potential staff hires because, number one, let's get the man in the door, right? Like, close him, get the man in the door, and let's go from there. Let's go from there because I just don't know. David says Scott Cochran would kill it here. I think Scott Cochran's had a really bad run of it as of late. I don't think he's coming back into college football. He's kind of gone down the wagon a little bit, at least per reports. Wish him well. I just don't think it's going to be him. Tyler with a $10 super chat says, why do we not want Drink? Because to me, it's his sorry-ass SEC record, BK 2.0. Give me Kelvin and the boys. Yeah, I mean, it's not great. I think it's 0-16, I think. It's just not good, man. So, I mean, like, you know, I was listening to Drink's press conference, and one of the Missouri beat writers says, Eli, y'all are 0-6 the last 2 years against ranked opponents in the SEC. Why is that? And he said something smart ass like, well, I'm just not good enough. Well, I mean, you can't say that at LSU. You can't say that here. He goes to a microphone and he says, well, I'm just not good enough. And he says something like this place will blow up because they'll be like, okay, well, you said you're not good enough. Fire his ass. Can't say that. Can't say that. Frank with 3 super chats here, all $5. Let's get to the first one. Frank says the people who keep saying this is a troll job are idiotic, respectfully. I agree. You don't do what all things Lane has done. Everybody will say, hey, he played LSU, he played Florida, whatever. They don't understand it. That's just fans. I agree with that. I do not think he's trolling either. He also says, Blake, what would happen if you went this far to troll your wife? Well, it's his ex-wife. What, are they going to get divorced again? I think his kids would get pissed. Look, here's first off, if it was my wife, bye. Bye-bye. She would cut my ass quick, fast, and in a hurry. But my wife wouldn't want to leave. Knowing my wife, with everything settled in with the kids, she probably wouldn't want to leave. But it's his ex-wife. I just don't think it's a troll. $5 super chat from Frank, the last one here. Says, we all know what will happen to Lane Kiffin if he's going this far to troll the states, politicians, his profession, etc. Nobody comes out alive. No, they don't. And I think that he would never get hired anywhere else again. At this point, I think he's got to leave to save his reputation. To just be blunt. Jalon with 2 super chats. Jalon, I'm sure you're trying to send a question here. But he says, do you have any insight of what's going on in the Ole Miss locker room? That was that's what Carter stated. I did not hear what he heard. Aaron Torres, I'll say this. Aaron Torres reported that he heard that the locker room was in shambles. I personally have not heard that, nor have I asked. I can't confirm or deny that. I have no clue. Last one, Tyler Cagle, says Kiffin's out. Who's your next go-to, and why should it be Colin Klein? I like Colin Klein a lot. Mine would personally be Kenny Dillingham. Personally, I think he does fit. I think he's a really good play caller. I love how physical they are at the line of scrimmage. I love that they run the football. I think he's a young, innovative mind. I think he will recruit his ass off. You give him the money that you're giving Lane Kiffin, he will dominate here. That's my personal opinion. Colin Klein, offensively, they would do a lot of special things. Don't know if he is ready to run a program yet, though. So I'd go Kenny over him. See you tomorrow. Peace.